Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I just want to talk to you guys about my October schedule and how it's looking. Never mind the background. You know, I did my hotel check and I had to make sure there was no bed bugs, hair, dirt, oil, makeup, and it's good to go. So I didn't check the other bed because I normally don't get in the other bed, but yeah. Anyways, it is the end of October 25th to be exact. I'm on a 4-day trip, and guess where I'm at? Bismarck, North Dakota. Yeah, so I'm having so much fun. It is cold and wet. It is cold. It's like 30 degrees. And you know, one thing that I forgot to mention to you guys is that we are going from hot to cold to hot to east to west, north to south in a day. So, you know, I just left Dallas and it was 70, 80 degrees, and then I come here to 30 degrees. You really have to have the immune system, a good immune system, a healthy body for all of this traveling. So that is one thing that I want to point out. If you are looking to be a flight attendant, don't be trying to do this job and you always get sick, because it's only gonna do damage from here. So just to let you know. Okay, so let's get into my schedule. So when I make my schedule, I typically have my days off consecutive. I don't like to have one day off in between. I feel like that just sounds horrible. So I like to have at least 2 days off. If there's a month where we get 12 days off, I always have 3 days off a week. So that's how I like to do my schedule. The first week, October 1st and 2nd, I was on reserve, didn't get called, so that was great. However, I did have a 3-day trip scheduled. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my schedule. I had a 3-day trip scheduled. I don't think it was significant worth talking about. Then I was off for 2 days. Then I had a 2-day. I had a long overnight in Laredo, Texas. Yeah, so we got there, we left at 11, got there at 3, and then we left the next day at 5. There wasn't really much to do out there, or at least I didn't look into it, so I pretty much just stayed in my hotel room. I think I did end up eating lunch with the crew, so that was fun, a little interaction. So after that 2-day, I still had a day of reserve left. They called me the night before and put on my schedule ready reserve. I hate ready reserve. Like, ready reserve is basically an episode of Are You Ready to Risk It All? Are you ready to risk it all on reserve? Because every time I've been on reserve, which has only been twice now in Dallas, I have not been used, but they have me on there for so long. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's a long time. And I don't like to just sit in the crew lounge because there's no windows and it's just like sitting in a cell. So I normally go to different terminals, and Terminal D is really nice. I don't think I've ever been in Terminal D until that day. Terminal D is nice. Terminal A has like nice restrooms. Terminal E is trash, but I just sit in different terminals. I, you know, bring a book to read, try to edit YouTube videos. Yeah, just try to stay busy, but it really wears down. Once I get to like 11 o'clock, I'm over it. Yeah, 11 o'clock, I'm over it. 12 o'clock, I'm ready to go sit in my car. 1 o'clock, I'm ready to go. definitely ready to go by 1 o'clock. So by 1 o'clock, I stayed inside the airport though, because you got to be ready within 20 minutes. And in DFW, you have to take a 20-minute shuttle just to get to the parking lot. So I just had to stay. I ended up calling crew support at 1:30, and I asked them, can I be released because I'm not being used? And they were like, oh, why don't you put in the early release, fill out the early release form online, and we'll take a look at your schedule from there. Me not being on ready reserve in so long, I forgot all about how you can do early release. I wish I would have put that in the beginning of the day. Like, this is my tip to you guys. Put early release any chance you can get and you don't want to work, just put it in. So I ended up putting it in, but of course the day was already almost over and they didn't say anything, so I just stayed until 3 and I didn't get used. So that was a whole day sitting in the airport. That was draining. It's so draining to be in ready reserve. I would honestly rather do a stand-up than ready reserve. But ready reserve isn't that bad compared to what I've been hearing, that my company is now rolling out 5 leg days. I don't care if the trips are 30 minutes for 5 legs. No, I would rather sit ready reserve 7 to 2. Yeah, over 5 legs in one day. That's draining. That's super draining. At 3 legs is already like, okay, we're doing a lot. I've never had 4 legs and I've never had 5 legs in a day yet. The day that they try to give me 5 legs in a day, I'll probably be calling crew support like, I'm sick, because I just can't. I cannot imagine doing 5 legs in one day. That's sick. All right, back to what I was saying. 5 legs is just not good for my social battery. It will run out super quick, and yeah, it just doesn't sound like a vibe, honestly. It doesn't. And if you work 5 flights in one day, let me know how that went. I think the only way it would maybe be cool is if there was no service and I was the forward, so I don't have to talk. Actually, no, the forward always does service, so no, there's actually not a good option. Yeah, I'll take ready reserve. Anyways, moving right along with my schedule. So the 3rd week of October. Now, mind you, I'm always on do not call first. So that means do not call me first or ever, basically. And I had 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st off. And then I had a 5-day from the 22nd to the 26th. They didn't call me. They put a trip on my schedule on the 19th, the morning of the 19th. And I'm not on call first. That's sick. That is sick. That is just giving me a little taste of what the holidays are gonna be like. You're putting a trip on my schedule days in advance and I'm not on call first. I'm gonna be working super hard in November and December. That's what that just let me know. So yeah, they put a 4-day on my trip, starting at 7:50, and every single day of that 4-day, we're up at 5 a.m. Show times are like 5:30, 5:20, and 5:15, so that's sick. Yeah, even though I'm on do not call first and PM shift, you can definitely get scheduled to work well before 9 a.m. like so. So that's something to be mindful of. Yeah, and I'm scheduled to work during Halloween, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, who's flying during Halloween? I hope I don't have to work. What else? We did get our November schedules. Oh, there's something that I wanted to tell you guys. So I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday the past week. Our company website was down for like at least 6 to 7 hours. It could have been longer than that. It was out. I mean, you couldn't even log in. The browser was just down. And I thought something was wrong with my phone. And it wasn't until I went on to Facebook and I saw in a Facebook group that someone was asking, oh, is your like website working? Are you able to log in? And they were also saying they can't log in. So the company website was down, so that means you're not able to look at your trip, you're not able to check in, you're not able to call out, because I mean, of course you can call crew support, but crew support, their lines were going off the hook definitely. So that means you would probably be on hold for about an hour or two. So thank God I didn't have to work during that time, but I can only imagine that there were a lot of delays, cancellations. I mean, I just heard through the grapevine, oh, they were having a lot of issues with the website being down and not being able to reach crew support because the phones were going off the hook. So yeah, and if that's happening in October, November, December, it's gonna be intense. So I'm not excited for that. For my November schedule, I did get that. Of course, I'm not off for Thanksgiving. Duh. But I also didn't, no, I did request to be off. I was just taking a chance and they said no. So I have to work for Thanksgiving. I have a 5-day schedule during that time. So the 24th through the 28th, I'm on call. So I can only imagine how that's gonna go. But the flights have been definitely picking up. My hours have been picking up. That's pretty much the gist of my October schedule. I've always been told that the holidays will be crazy and hectic. Also, there's one more thing that I need to mention to you guys. So, when was that? I think that was on one of the days that I was off. I decided to pick up a trip. So, I've never picked up a trip before, but my requirements are it has to be at least $50 and it has to be a turn, so there and back to Dallas. Like, I'm not staying anywhere overnight. I just want to go somewhere and come back. $50 and up. Okay, I'm not leaving my house for $25. No. So someone posted a trip for $50 and it was a turn, and I was debating about it because I was like, seems like a good idea, but I was just being lazy. And then they upped it to $70 and I was like, okay, this trip is obviously calling my name. Let me just take it off her hands. So the way to do that is you have to call, if you're on reserve, you would have to call crew support and tell them that you want to take that trip, and then they will make sure that you fit the parameters of taking the trip. So that's like 8 hours before your shift starts, 8 hours of rest before your reserve shift starts, and a couple of other things, I think, but that's like the main thing. I think 8 hours before, I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I got the shift. I was paid my $70 before the shift even started, so that was great. The trip was going to, I think we were going to Corpus Christi and back, or Oklahoma. I don't remember where we were going, because when I got to the airport and when I got to the gate, there was a ground stop because of weather, low visibility, there was rain. It was scheduled to rain all day actually, so I think this flight attendant already knew there was going to be delays. That's why she was trying to get rid of that trip. So I'm going to start checking the weather before I start picking up trips now, because now I'm getting a little smarter. I'm getting up on game. She knew that there was going to be some delays. She was commuting, so that's why she wanted to get rid of the trip. So anyways, with the trip that I picked up, there was a ground stop. It went from 1 hour to 2 hour delay, 2 hour to 3 hour delay, and then we canceled. So we canceled. I did have to, of course, stay at the airport during that whole time, but I didn't have to go on the trip, and I got $70, so can't complain. I know that it won't always be like that, but just sharing my instance with you guys that people do pay their incentives, and you could get a canceled trip, or you could just work the trip and make extra money on top of that, because you do get paid to do your job, of course. So that's just an extra option for you guys if you guys want to pick up a trip. I personally wouldn't pick up trips that involve an overnight, because that's doing too much, but whatever you're comfortable with, definitely go for it. That's been my October schedule as of today. I'll definitely let you guys know if anything else crazy happens this month. Hopefully nothing happens that's crazy on Halloween. Hopefully I don't even have to work. That would be great. Let me know in the comments how your October schedule is going. And if you worked a 5-day, let me know how that worked out for you, because I'm curious. That's all I got for you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.